Okay, we have discussed about not lot of, only one type of chart in last session, and in this session we are going to discuss about lot of different properties in the charts and different types of charts. And I'm not going to show you all the charts available. I'm going to show you only a couple of our most frequently used charts, and remaining things you have to try and go. Before continuing the session yesterday, I showed you. See, if you this is a report where I'm showing sales based on color and based on category. Okay, let me set the color first, sorry, category first and then the color, so that the report will have a proper meaning. So accessories wise, color wise sales, bytes wise, color wise sales, clothing wise, color wise sales. But if you see, all the colors are not showing here. Why? Because it tries to adjust the values. If the values are not able to adjust it, then it will show only random. I mean, 2 to 3 gaps will be given for every value on the x-axis. So what you can do to show all the values? So you have to go to the chart property, sorry, axis properties. You'll find the interval and set the interval to 1 and click on OK. Now review the report and you can see everything. According to that, the chart is adjusted. If you observe, the chart was pretty big lines last time, and now the lines, the bars, or sorry, I can say the columns here in the chart become narrow or lean, and all the values are adjusted. If you see, not applicable color, red, blue, silver, and so on. And if you want to give a gap for every one color, let's say first one should be shown and second one should not be, third one should be, something like that, set it to 2 and it will be different now. You can see for every 2 things it is coming, right? So you are telling the server, show for every 1 column, show for every 2 columns, show for every 3 columns, show 1 for every 4 columns, something like that. But I prefer to go with 1 most of the cases, and very rare cases, if the space is not enough, then I'll set it to 2. But it will adjust the space somehow. I'm saying it will adjust the space somehow and it will show the complete stuff. Now this is the first part, and let's continue our discussion on charts now. So here, if you see, we have discussed about the base level charting, right? Now let me go to the properties window. Okay, and I'll click on different items now, and you will come to know what I'm clicking on, what we call it. If I click on the chart, the empty area somewhere here, which pops these categories and so on. You can see the categories, data series, and everything is popped up here, right? Let me minimize it. So you can see it was like this. When I click on this, okay, the data series, series fields, categories, as well as data fields are popped up. So this is called as chart. When you click on here, any empty space, this is called chart. And when you click on this, okay, these lines, this is called grid lines. When you click here somewhere, yeah, this is chart title. Okay, so if you see, the complete chart is split into so many sub items. So this is title, and if you click here, this is legend, and if you click here, this is called access title, and if you click here, this is access, and this is access values, and this is also access, and if you click here, this is vertical lines, grid lines, and if you click here, this is called series. Okay, and what else you want? I mean, what else we have? Let me see here. Yeah, body, report, chart. Okay, and these belong to the chart parts. So if you see here, this is called as chart area. This complete the one that is highlighted is called chart area. The chart area will have the vertical, the grid lines and the chart series. And apart from that, there are so many other stuff, other items that belongs to the chart area. And let's see one by one what everything is meant for and what is the use of everything. Okay, before going to that, I'll use change chart type. Okay, let me right click change chart type, and let me show you different charts. Okay, the first one is the base column. This one is cylinder, 3D cylinder. That means cylindrical. Here you can see this is rectangle shapes, right? This comes in cylinder. And if you see, this is 3D clustered column. And this is, one second. This is 3D clustered cylinder. And if you observe, all these are a little change in the representation. If you click on this will be cylinder but with 3D effect. Okay, so this is a common chart just like the other one. But if you see, this stacked column and 100% stacked column are little bit different. Okay, I'll explain what is this stacked column and what is the 100% stacked column. These two, most of the cases people will ask for. If they don't want column chart, then the next of preference they'll give is for stacked column chart. Okay, and this is 3D, and this is 3D stacked column, and this is 3D 100% stacked column. So the first one in 3D is this one, second one in 3D is this one, third one in 3D is this one. And if you see, this is clustered, 3D clustered column, and this is 3D cylinder, and this is 3D stacked cylinder, 3D 100% stacked cylinder, 3D clustered cylinder. Okay, and if you see, this is line chart, this is smooth line, okay, and this is stepper line, and this is 3D line, and this is line with markers, and this is smooth line with markers. Marker means it will give you the value there. If it is 100 or 200 or 300, that marker. You can add markers to this one also. If you add markers to this one, this guy will become this. If you add markers to this, it will become this. Okay. And the next one is shapes. This is pi. You know very well about this. This is pi. And this is exploded pi. That means only one piece of it will be exploded and come out of like this. Or I'll show. Let's try that one too. And this is 3D pi and 3D exploded pi. And this is donut chart. It looks like donut, and this is exploded donut, and this is funnel, and this is 3D funnel, and this is pyramid, and this is 3D pyramid. Okay, so these types of charts you might have heard in your career somewhere. I mean, even in school days you might have heard somewhere. And this is similar to column charts but horizontal. Bar, stacked bar, 100% stacked bar, 3D bar, 3D stacked bar, 100% stacked bar, and so on. Everything just like the column charts. And area charts, it will give you area. See, whatever the area, the first, if you have two different values, it will cover the first one and it will cover the second one with the different areas, and it will give you the colors. And smooth area and stacked area, 100% stacked area, and so on. So if I explain one chart type, or if I cover properties of one chart type, you will get complete picture about the remaining properties, and you can try on your own. That's what I'm saying. And this is range charts. This is smooth range, and this is range column, and this is range bar, and this is stock and candlestick. And these are the different. If you give some values, assign some values to this, automatically it will show some output. You can easily understand how it is showing. It all, if you see the difference, what is the difference you can find in all these things in one word? Think about that. I'll ask after explaining all this stuff. Think about one word which says the difference between all these things. Only difference between all these things. And this is scatter charts, and this is bubbles, and this is 3D bubble. This is polar charts, and this is radar, and this is 3D radar. So if you observe these three, the scatter, radar, and range charts, not meant for even area charts, not meant for all kinds of data. These are meant for particular purpose. If you have some requirement which needs to be shown in the form of radar, then only you can. So let's say a flight is going from here to here, then you can use radar chart where it is, from where it is going and where it is, what is the destination and so on, right? But not all the normal, not for all the normal data people don't use this. So if you observe all the charts, what is the only difference you can see in this? Yeah, correct. In other words, we can call it as presentation, how we are presenting the data we have. So the data will be common for all the charts, but you will present in different formats. different styles. Okay, so I'll go with the base level of chart, and I'll try to explain the different properties available, and then you can explore a lot in this chart. And covering everything in charts, I don't think, covering the charts based on the requirements that you are facing is not possible here. I can explain you, and that is why I explained the expressions page completely and I ask you to practice. Here also everything is an expression. Most of the cases you will find expressions, and the same way how we have used the expressions there, you can use the expressions here. Okay, let's start with the first item. Now, yesterday in last session we covered about these data fields, categories, and series. Now let's start with the chart title. So chart title you can have or you can remove. Okay, if you want to delete, just right click and delete it, and or if you want to keep it, you have separate set of properties for this title. If you click on the title, it will open the chart title properties, and the first page is the chart title, and you can see on the right hand side you have an effects. That means you can set the title dynamically. Okay, this is one option you can go with, right? So this is the title. You can make it static or you can make it based on the parameter selection. Whatever the parameters you have selected, show that title. For example, parameter category has more than one value, right? So what I will do here is I can use join function. I hope you still remember this. Join of plus sales report, and let's see what it will show. Wise sales report. I just use join function to join all the parameter values, and I added some static text also. So it should give me bikes, components, clothing, accessories, wise sales report. So this is how you can make the title dynamic, and let's see the remaining properties. And this one, the title position, where you want to place it. If you place it here, it will go to the right corner. If you click here, it will show in the left corner. If you click here, it will show in the horizontal axis, this part. Top corner, and bottom left, bottom middle, bottom right, right bottom, right middle, right top. Right, you can position it wherever you wish to. For example, if I want to wish to show here, then I can set it and just click on preview. But the only problem is it depends on the size. You can see the size is pretty less and it is truncating. Can you see? It is truncating. So what I can do here is, what I can do here is I can go to the properties. Oops. Okay, where is that? This is the expression, and you can either increase it. You have to decrease the font. Like let me say this is 10 font, which I don't need. I can set it to somewhat around 7, and let's see whether I can show the complete text or not. Still there is some space pending, so you have to adjust it somehow or increase the size of the report so that you will get more space for that. Let's say like this, and here it will show the complete chat. Now you can increase the font size also, like you can make it as 8, or 8 will do the job, I guess. Let me set it to 8, and it will be clearly visible. Preview, and here, and we have a new line command also. We can use that new line, but I already explained that we have done some assignments also. I'll just revisit that one currently. So this is how you can play with the title. And next thing, when you right click here, and you can have you have an option add new title, which means it will add one more title. Add new title, you can add one more title. So how many titles you want, you can add it, right? But for now, I don't want this many. Let me remove. Let me keep only one title, and let me go to the properties, and let me place it here so that it looks good. And dog the chart area. if you observe this option will help you, will help you to whether to dock in the chart area or whether to show outside of the chart area. Can you see the difference? It will be docked inside, and if you want to see show title outside the chart area, and you can set some value, like you can make it as a dynamic show outside or show inside. Okay, let me uncheck this. Show inside, or default means outside. If you set it as none, it is outside. If you set it to default, it will be inside. And if you don't want to show inside and don't set it outside, you can set it outside. Okay, this is about the first page title properties. And if you go to the next page, the visibility, don't ask about me. Ask about this to me. Why? Because we have discussed about this visibility property hundreds of times. So if you want to show this chart title, show, else hide, or set based on expression. Okay. So you can choose any one of these, and don't you have tried so many expressions, right? So I mean, for hiding or for using the visibility, for setting the visibility, this is the same way you can set the visibility based on the requirements. And action, this is very important one. Have you ever seen this action page? Where you have seen this action page? Do you remember? The place where we discussed about drill through reports and navigating to some page linked reports, right? Not linked reports, actually drill through reports. And if you see, you can create action for everything in the report, in the chat. If you see, this is a title, and even in title you can call another report, but I don't have any report handy here. But you can call another report, or you can call a bookmark, which I've never tried, so I'm not explaining. Or you can call a site .google.com. So now if you see, even the title has the same power as a normal table cell in the matrix or tabular report. If I click on this, it is taking me to google.com. In the same way, if I click on, if I configure it to show some, what is that? Show some another report, it will take me to the particular report. And if I go to the title properties, the next one is font. You can play with this. There is nothing to explain here. What font you want to show, and you have a sample here in the bottom. You can set whatever you want to. Let's say I want to set in very awkward way. This is very awkward, right? And let me set 10 points or 11 points or 12 points, and let it to be bold and italic, and let me give color blue. This blue is not available here, so let me set the nearest one. And FX, if you want to show any underline or strike line or so on, click on that, and okay, you can preview it. You can see the title as per the settings you have given there. So the font settings you have given. And fill, if you want to show anything in the chart title area. This is chart title. The backside one is empty, right? If you go for pattern, it will be like this. You have to select two colors. This is first color and this is second color. Let's say this will be in pattern. Like this looks like some shirt, right? In India or anywhere. This is the shirt cloth, and this is called pattern. If it is gradient, it is different. It starts with the dim light. Sorry, this is thick. This is thick, and slowly it dims and slowly it dims. So this is called gradient style. And if you set it to proper colors, it looks really beautiful, like this. This is really good, right? Gradient style, how you want to show the gradient style, from left to right or right. Now let me set it to center. You can see from center thickness will start and go outside. Or if you set it to diagonal left, it will be diagonally left. If you set it to horizontal center, it will be horizontal center. You have so many options here, right? So default has nothing to do. Left, right. This is the left and right. From left hand side it is coming, from right hand side. And if you observe, you don't need to work hard for setting these kind of things, for formatting or for designing all this kind of things. And next thing is the border of the title. If you see the line, if you want to show line, Yes, I want to show dotted line. And what is the point width? When I increase, you can see the border there. It's not showing. Okay. Line color, let me set it to uh, some odd color I want, yellow. Can you see the border was showing, the point was 6 points. Can you see when I'm decreasing, it is decreasing, right? This is 1 point, this is 2 point. Let me set it to some different color which can be easily seen. Let's say this one. This is pretty clear, right? So if you see, I've set the border, okay? And generally I never set the border, and I don't like to set the borders for the titles, but I set the fill properties. Why? Because it looks good, okay? And the shadow, if you want to set any shadow for this title, can you see the shadow coming in when I increase the size? Can you see the shadow? And shadow color also you can set. You can say I'm setting it to yellow color. Can you see it now? This is the shadow part. If I set it to brown, you can see it pretty clearly. Now, sorry, tan color. Click on OK. Click on preview the report. So all the properties that I have set are perfectly showing. And the only thing that doesn't look good is the border color, right? Or the border style. If I remove the border, you can feel the difference, how good it will be. Let me set it to 0. Okay. Click on OK. Now you can see the title. Just concentrate on the title. Don't see the report. If you see the title alone, it looks good, right? Or you can change, if you change the font, it looks even better. So we have discussed about all the properties of the title, chart title. If you have any questions, you can ask. Now we have done with one item of the chart. Now let's see, I'm going for axis title. Axis title means this is the left hand side axis. It has very limited where you want to set. You want to set center, near, or far. Near means this one, near to the 0. Far means opposite end of the 0. And center means you know very well it is center. And you can set it dynamically. Wherever you find the effects, you can easily understand that you can set the value dynamically. What is this? This is sales amount, right? And what's the need of this title setting it dynamic? Any example you can say? Any example can you think of? Why you need to set the title dynamic? Generally, you will select any one measure, right? One data field. And why you want to set it dynamic? What's the purpose? Let's say you have a sales amount and you have tax amount, and if it's a parameter, and if user selects sales amount, you have to show sales amount in the data series, and the user wants, guys, this is an assignment, make a note of it. I want a parameter in which I'll have two things, one is sales amount and another one is tax amount. If I select the sales amount, the chart should be designed sales amount and color wise chart, and the title should be shown as sales amount here, axis title. And if I select the other one is tax amount, the chart should be designed for color wise tax amount, and the title should be tax amount. Okay, this is an assignment, make a note of it. And the next one is font. You can design the font just like you have done for the other one. I've set it to bold. I don't want italic. I don't like it. Let me set this color. Click on OK. These are the options you have for the axis title. Now, explaining this one means I will become an idiot. So you'll find the same options for the y-axis title. Let me set it for, I know this is color wise sales. So I'll set it as color. Okay. And the next one is this grid lines. Now let me click right click here, and you can see, sorry. One second, guys. If you click on these lines here, can you see? I clicked on these lines. You have a properties for this. We call it as major grid lines. Okay. The major grid lines you can show or you can hide it like this, and If you want to add it, you have to right click on the axis. You have to select major grid lines. Remember, you have to click on the axis values and show major grid lines. And also you can show minor grid lines. Minor grid line means for every value there will be sub split. Okay. In the same way, for x-axis also, you will have major grid lines. That means from the middle of this one to middle of next one, and middle of next one, middle of next one, and so on. And in the same way, you can have minor grid lines. You can see this looks like graph, right? Now, when you click on any particular line, now I click on minor grid lines of horizontal axis, so you can have the properties for that, right? You can see now it is dotted. If you want to set dashed or solid, you can set it as solid. You can see the lines has become solid here, right? By default, the major grid lines will be solid and minor grid lines will be dashed. But if you want it, this one also as solid, you can go for, or you can see dash dot dot dash dot dot dash dot dot and so on. And width, you can set it. If you set bigger width, then it won't look good. 1 point is always the better one, and even the default color, whatever it has set, is the best or apt one for this one. Or else you can set whatever color you wish to go for. And the grid interval, it's auto. That means it will be automatically selected. And if you want to set something like 1 or 2, you will set it just like interval what we have discussed. And grid interval type, it is auto. Number, whether it's a number or not, whether it's a years, it's just a hint to that. If it's an years, you can see it will look for years, but there is nothing, right? So it won't show anything. If it is days, again same stuff, it is not available, so it won't show anything. So better set it to auto, it will decide. Okay, and grid interval also to auto, this will be showing. Let me check what will happen when I set it to 1. Sorry, let me set to auto and let me show the difference. See, when you set it to auto and when you set it to default, it will decide automatically. Or else you can set, see here you are giving a hint that okay, this is a numeric values, so decide the grid lines according. Or this is a days of the month, decide according. So by default this will be set to default and this will be set to auto. And visibility is just like show or hide based on an expression. And this is also a beautiful option. This visibility option is nothing but when you right click here, you have a show grid lines, right? This is the visibility property. But there you can set one more extra feature, that is dynamic visibility, showing for few charts and not showing for few conditions. Right? If you don't want, you can remove it. And if you want, come here, show minor grid lines. So the similar properties will be there if you go for major grid lines also. You see the ditto properties. This is the grid line properties, and this is how you can show major horizontal grid lines, minor horizontal grid lines, major vertical grid lines, and minor vertical grid lines. And the next one is access title. Here this is access title, right? This is show access title if you want to show, and if you don't want, you can hide it, right? Now how to show it again? Have to click it somewhere here. Select, where is that? Show major, show axis, chart type, the property. One second, guys. So when you have grid lines, it was going to the grid line properties. Now I have removed the grid lines, and you can see show value axis. That means the value axis. And if you want to show these grid lines are still showing, right? So let me uncheck these grid lines so that it will be a plain chart. And now if you see show category axis, that means whatever you have dragged into the category, you want to show or not. If you don't want to show, you can set it like this. And I uncheck that, and you can see no horizontal axis part will be shown. And if you want to show it, select this. And remember, you have to take it as empty space. Why? Because if you have grid lines, then it will be confusing. Wherever you right click on, it will go for the grid line properties, then the axis, the chart area properties. Okay, you have to click on the chart area, right click on the chart area, there you can find show value axis and show category axis. And if you ask me in which cases you will hide this, okay, in few cases if you see the values, if the user don't want to see, they want to see like this. So in that case, the report will look like this. If the requirement is to show report like this, then we have to show in the same way, right? So this this is very rare cases, but I don't say this is not available case or not a real time case. It's used. So many reports you can find without access. Okay. Now let's go to the vertical axis and see the property. Show axis is fine. Show axis title, that means this one. This is also fine. And access properties, this is what we are interested in. You can see so many access properties are available for the vertical axis, or I can call it the value axis. So enable scale breaks, it will be like this. This is very regular one. You might have seen this kind of scale break somewhere. It is like a scaling path. Okay. And scale break means what it will do is if the value is growing like anything. I'll show you a best example for scale break. Okay. For that I need to change the axis part. That is, I have to remove this color. Now, if you go and preview it, can you see the values 0 to 50,000 or 5 lakhs? Everything is covered, accessories and clothing. But this is too big one. That is why how it looks. You can see this is not. This is becoming negligible. Why? Because this value is pretty big. Now, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna apply scale break for this. Enable scale breaks. It will take the minimum value and it will try to adjust everything. Can you see? 0 to 70,000, 7 lakhs, right? This is the clothing, and all of a sudden there is a scale break. That means the scale is starting from 32 lakhs or 3 crore 20,000. I don't want to read now. So this is called scale breaking. This is a beautiful option, right? If the value is going beyond far away from the remaining values, then we can use scale breaks, which will help you in adjust the scales and make the report more readable. Okay, this is the scale break option. Now this is about scale break. Now let me go to the next property. Always include 0 if you want to, else you can remove the 0 part. And in reverse direction if you want to see, that is top to bottom. You can see on the background the reverse direction. The chart will be shown in the reverse direction. And I don't want this. Use interlacing means this one. The bars, okay, interlacing. And if you want logarithmic scale, the scale will be in log 10, log 100 to the base 10 and so on. And you can set the base. If you want to set the base to 2, base to 3, base to 10, you can. If you are designing some report which needs to see the values in logarithmic way, then you can go with logarithmic scale. But in general, this is very 0.001% of the cases you will come across this. Okay, and use interlacing. You can pick the alternate color. The one color is white, and other color you can pick it. If you think that this color adds more better look for your report, you can add it. Okay, like this. And set the scale axis. This is the maximum and minimum. Automatically do we need to take, or it has to be set manually. And the scale, the maximum and minimum, let's say I'm setting 10 as minimum and maximum is 100. And let's see how it comes. I've set the 10 as minimum and maximum as 100, and it is showing up to here, and all the values are going beyond that, the scale break area. And see, this is the scale I set. That is why this is the problem. It should be automatic. By default it takes, then you have to go for the default values, right? If you don't know what is the maximum value that you are going to get and what is the minimum value that you are going to get, you better leave it to auto, or else If you know what is the if it is percentage, you know it falls between 0 to 100. In that case, you can set it. It should be 0 and 100, right? So this is the minimum and maximum you can set. The scale minimum and maximum, and interval. It's again the interval, you know, right? We have tried the interval for the axis, and interval type again, whether it's a numbers or this is number, right? So let me set it to number. Enable variable interval. I don't know. 1 second. No, I've never tried this. I can check this and get back to you on this one. And cross at minimum and maximum, side margins. 1 second, guys. So these are the different options which even I've never tried, and let me see what difference it is making when I set it as cross at. Okay, for cross at I have set it to maximum, and it is setting any cross or anything. And let me set it to minimum now. Oops, no idea how it will behave. Let me set it to minimum and run the report. Can you see any difference here? Cross at nothing. And let me set it to maximum and see the same. Review. See, I think it's coming, it's reversing the direction, but we have different properties for reversing, right? Yeah, I understood. See, the scale is not changing. Okay, the scale is not changing, but earlier bikes was the maximum. It starts here and it is up to 32 something. Now this has become minimum. Why? Because it is starting from max. The crossing is at maximum. You understood what I'm saying? It's not simply reversing. See, the value of accessories was very small. It was 7 lakhs. Now it is coming up to 7 lakhs. The clothing was 33 lakhs something, 60,000 or so, 50,000 or so. So it is coming up to here. But bikes was very huge and it was up to 33 crore, 25 lakhs or something around. So now if you see, it is coming from the maximum value, but up to the value of the, up to the mark of its value, right? Now it becomes reverse case. The smallest one will become bigger one, biggest one will become smaller one. Why? Because it is starting from the maximum. Is it clear? The bottom of the column shows the exact value, isn't it? Yeah. So if you see, this is your chart. It has 3 values like this. Okay. And this is 7. This is 2.5. And this is 320. When I start this value from maximum, okay, this is the maximum in the scale you have. It has to come up to here to make it 7. So this will become big one. And it has to go up to 2. The scale is not changing, only the axis is changing. From where it is printing, the value is changing. If you see, this will come only up to here. The value remains the same, the scale remains the same, and hence the bigger one will become smaller one and smaller one will become bigger one, whereas you are getting it from reverse direction. So just it is reversing the direction. Okay, but the scale, as the scale is not changing, it will become, the smaller one will become bigger one and bigger one will become smaller one. I'll do one thing. I'll remove the scale break for this. Okay, enable scale break. Now you will come to know what is the difference. You know the bikes is the biggest one. Now you can see the bikes is the smallest one. Why? Because it is having 3.2 crore. This is the biggest value and it is nearing. Okay, it's saying, okay, this is the value. Go to the scale and the value is 3.2 crore or something. But if you see the accessories is only 7 lakhs and hence it is coming up to here. And it is even less, that is 2.5 lakhs, it is coming. So the scale will remain the same, but it will start from the maximum instead of minimum. So this is about the cross it. And side margins should enable the side margins. Let me set it to auto. Let's see what this side margins will be. What margins will be enabled when you set it to true. Can you see anything for side margins? No. Okay, something changed here. This is enabled and this is disabled. Can you see any difference here? It's something happening to the scale here. Okay, just leave it here. It's not a high priority one. And arrow style, if you want to give any arrow, here you can see the difference. It will be triangle on top, or it will be sharp triangle, or it will be lines. Okay, if it is lines, it will show an arrow in lines. If it is triangle, it will show triangle in lines. You can see, right, the arrow, the triangle in lines. Okay, this is how you can set the different properties that are available in the page 1 of the access properties. And the next one is labels. This label part is there, right? Hide access labels. We set this property already. We tried this. Now I don't want to hide. Hide first and last label along the axis. That is, the first one and the last one will be hidden and the remaining things will be shown. I'll show you how it looks. And enable autofitting. This is how you want to show the labels. See, now it is 90 degrees, right? If you can set it to some angle, 45 degrees, or you can rotate the labels. Can you see it is rotating? Can you observe? It is 25, 28. I'm rotating it at some angle. And if you go to this enable autofit, you can set the maximum size of the label, minimum size of the label, and labels can have offset. Label can be wrap. Wrap means going to the next line if the space is not enough. Okay, these are the different properties, and if you execute this, you can see the labels are set in the cross way, right? Whatever the angle we have set. Now let me go to this and discuss the remaining properties. Label font, if you want to set, this is the same page what you have seen in the access, right? Label, sorry, chart title. And numbers, if you want to show the numbers, how you want to show it. Minus values, plus values, and so on. Now I have set it to 2 decimal. I don't want it. I want 1000 separator here. And I don't want any decimals. 0 decimals, 1000 separator. And show values in thousands. Okay, I mean this will be very worst. And if I click on OK, you can see 1000 separator for the data. That means separator means there will be a comma for every 1000, right? So this is earlier it was only a pure value. Now it is separated in 1000, so it will be easy to read, more readable than the earlier one. And major tick marks and minor tick marks, you can. Tick marks means this one. There is a small line, right? Major tick marks. So hide major tick marks. You can see this, the tick marks are hidden. Now it is showing. Can you see the tick marks? Now you should understand what is tick marks here, right? Now where you want to position it? Position outside or inside or cross. Cross means half of the things will be in the line. Inside the chart, half of the thing will be outside the chart. If it is inside, purely it will be inside. That is inside. And none means I think it will go for the, it will be removed. No charts at all. It's just like this one, hidden part. So let me set it to outside. And length, what is the length you want to set? You can increase the length like this if you wish to. Or you can set the length to even 0, which will not make any sense. It's like hidden. You can set it to 0.5. And line style, how you want a dash line, or that is a pretty small one, and why you need formatting for it. The line itself is 0.5 points, and you want a dashed or dotted one for that. You see now it is dotted one. You can see the dotted one. So if you want to set the dotted one, you can go for it, or you better leave it to default as it is pretty small lines and you don't need any formatting for it. Line color, you can set it. Let me set it to red color so that you can see it clearly. And line width, this is the width. If you want a thicker one, you can go for more width, or if you want to normal width, you can set it here. Interval again, it's 1, or interval type, set it as numbers or whatever it is. And minor tick marks, it was hidden. If you check this, there will be tick marks next to, in between every major tick marks. So it won't look good actually. This is not required actually, or you can set it to inside of this, like this. And you can set the width to that, and line style, you can set it to default or some dashed one or dotted one. Line width, this is fine. This is about major tick marks and minor tick marks, but I prefer not to have the minor tick marks. And finally, the line style. This line. How you want a dashed or dotted or only dotted one. Can you see the line, vertical line? Now I set it to dotted, and I'm increasing the width so that you can see it. Can you see the dotted one? How it is changing? And now I'm setting it to dashed one. This is the dashed and dashed dot dot. However you wish, you can set it, and you can set the color of your wish like this. So if you see, we have discussed about so many properties of the axis, vertical axis now, right? Not so many, all the properties that were available, we have discussed everything, and this is how you can. So what you have to do is you have to go and practice everything, set everything and see the difference, and review the report, and again make some change like that. If you go to the axis here, axis properties, you will have the similar page, just like the one which we have, except scale breaks. Scale breaks doesn't is not valid, and reverse direction just like the same. Always include 0. Okay. Use interlacing, just like interlacing. You remember, right? Vertical interlacing is in blue color. This is horizontal interlacing, and you can set some color for this one too, just like you set for the other one. So this is interlacing part. And if you want logarithmic scale, you can go for, and scalar axis. I've never seen scalar axis. Let me try this. Scalar. Again, I'm not getting this. What is the scalar axis? I need to check this one. And the remaining properties are same, like the maximum, minimum, and interval. We set the interval, right? Interval to 1. This is what we have set to show all the values of the x-axis. And labels, label font, numbers, major tick marks, minor tick marks, and line. Everything remains the same, just like the axis, vertical axis, whatever we have discussed now. Now we have seen about the axis and all. What is this series? This series is only 1 when you don't have the series part, right? Now let me add series here. I'll drop some series. Let's say I'll go for color in this, color for categories, okay, and category for series. Okay, it will make some sense. Why? Because the only 3 categories will be there. Now series means for each and every item, for each and every group. See how many categories are there? There are 3 different categories, right? Clothing and so on. So you will get 3 different colors. Blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, red, blue, yellow, red. It is repeating for each and every color in the data, sorry, in the category field, right? The series, whatever you are going to give, that will come as lesson. There are 3 series. One is accessories, one is bikes, and one is clothing. Accessories is the one in blue color, and bikes is the one in orange color. Clothing is the one in red color. Okay. If you don't have this series field, if you don't add anything in the series, then it will show only one color, that is the sales amount or whatever you have added in the data field. Okay, this is series, and each and every series will have properties. Before going to that, let me go to the legend properties. Legend properties is very important, and Samyukta is very well aware of this. She has done a lot of R&D on the legend properties to set some static values. So here, show legend title. If you want to show any title for this, okay, but I don't want, and delete legend if you don't want to show the legend. And legend really will help the user. If you have a different groups and so many colors are coming, people will confuse. See, I'll show you an example here. Legend properties, I'm not showing that. Visibility, I'm hiding it. Okay, Click on OK. Now the legend should not be shown. Now what is this red color, what is this yellow color, and what is this blue color? Who is going to answer to that? That is what we have added as part of the series, and no one knows what is that. So that is why if it is only one, no series is added, there will be only one item. That will be either sales amount or tax amount. Anyone can easily understand. But here, if you don't have that legend, it will really create problem when you have series. So legend plays a major role. Now let's go and see the legend properties. This is the name of the legend and where you want to place it. You want to place it in the bottom of the chart. It will come like this. It will be either on the right corner or bottom most of the cases. People don't prefer in any other place. Okay. Dock to chart area, which we have already discussed, where it will be part of this. You can see inside the chart, which won't look good. So let me set it outside. And visibility, which we have seen just now, show, hide or hide based on some value. And font, whatever the font you want to set, you can set it. And fill, the same gradient and pattern. And border, if you want to set any border. And shadow. This is pretty straightforward one, just like the other values. Right? So these are the different legend properties that are available. So this legend properties is nothing but whatever the series fields you have taken. Now I have taken category. Category has 3 series. One is accessories, cloth, bikes and clothing, that will come. If I don't have any series, what will happen? If I don't have any series here, let's say I don't have this, then only one color will be there, that is the y-axis, that is sum of ID. The same ID will be shown here. Right? ID in the sense here sales amount. I called with the name ID. You can see here. The name I've given is ID. That is why it is showing as ID. So if you don't have a series part on which you add on the right hand side, then it will show only the metric, whatever the metric you have added. And let me add one more and show you. I'm adding this one again. So sum of ID and sum of ID. You can see ID and ID. 2 series are coming. One for first ID, second for second ID. Right? If you have only one ID and if you have series, then this ID, that is the sales amount, will be split based on the categories, right? So that is why it will show 3 different series and the same series will be shown here. So this is how the legend will be defined. And now if you go to the series part, series, if you right click here, you can, we have discussed about chart properties, series, legend properties. Now let's see the chart property, series properties. So every series, this, when I click on this, this is one series, right? Series properties, you can select the category field, which is not required, to be frank. Forget about this. You can set the visibility and you can set the markers and you can set the axis and so on. You just think about what is required here. I'll show you. Yep. Show data labels is the first important thing that you have to select. Show data labels, when you right click on the series and you can set the show data labels, it will show the value of each data label. You can see this value is 435116.69 and this value is so on, so this value is so on. So this really helps the users. So this show data labels, you can go to this series label properties again. It will have its own properties and you can format it. I can format to the number. I'll set it to 2 decimal or 1 decimal is fine, and 1000 separator. Now you can see the value showing in even better way. Can you see? So how to show this? This is very important one. Right click on the series. Okay. And now I'm changing the chart type to line. Okay. Now I have to right click on the line and show data labels or hide data labels. Where you have to where you will find this option is whether you have a line or column chart or bar chart. Right click on that particular lines and click on show data labels. It will show the data labels for you. Let me change it back to the original one. And Series properties means if you want to set any properties for this series, you can set like markers, how you want to show, and marker size and marker type, what marker type you want. If you want to show square, you can see the square coming on top of it. That is a marker for the value. If you want a diamond, you can see a diamond coming. The size is pretty small, that is why you are not able to see. Now the diamond size is increasing. Can you see that? So this is a marker to show the data value. And legend, it will have its own legend, right? Accessories or whatever. The legend will be dynamically shown, or you can overwrite it by some default values, some hard-coded values. And action is very important. If I click on this particular report, it should take you to the next report or next page. You can write the functionality. This is called drill through. Okay, drill through report using charts. You can use this action page. What you have to do is you have to right click on this and legend here. I will explain. If you go to this, right click on this, you will find the action. If you write something here, it will on click of that, it will take you to there. Okay, this is about drill through in charts. The legend here, you know, you have three legends coming now. This blue means one color, yellow means one color, red means one color, right? You can override it. You can set some hard-coded values, but this is mainly useful for or useful when you don't have series. Now you have series, that is why you are getting 3 lines. If you don't have series, you will get only 1 line. And this is showing as ID, right? If you go here, it is showing as ID. Why? Because the column name is ID. So if I go to these series properties and go to the legend, show it as I'm stupid, then it has to take this value as the legend and it will show as I'm stupid. So giving some hard-coded value. Right? When you have a category, it will be dynamic and it will be very, very difficult to group it and give the dynamic values, right? So this is how. And if you have a categories, let's say you have categories here. The series has, let's say we have series also. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to the legend. Instead of this, I can go to the properties. If what is that field? What is the field that it is using? Dot value. I'm setting some dynamic value is equal to bikes. Then show go to hell, else come to heaven. So now I have to get 3 values. One is accessories, one is bikes, and one is the other one. So these 3 should be changed to either go to hell or back to heaven as per that. See, the first one is come to heaven. That means this is accessories, not bikes. And if it is bikes, it is showing as go to hell. It is clothing and it is showing to come to heaven. So you can make it a dynamic value. The legend also a dynamic, right? So this is the beautiful options that are available with the expressions in this one. So we have discussed about the series and so much of stuff, right? Now let me go here, and chart properties are very basic ones. Chart properties will not have much chart type and tooltip if you want to show anything. And what is the data set name and page break before and after, visibility, filters, and this color palette is like what is the first color you want to show, the blue one, right? This combination, Excel, and what comes berry format, or you can set it to sea green, or you can set it a dynamic one. If it is accessory, showing yellow color. If it is so and so, showing blue color, white color, and so on. The color of these palettes. And visibility, you can set it to show the chart yes or no. And filters, if you want to filter any data, like I don't want to show bikes, then you can set some filters. And fill is just to fill the gradient of the chart, and border is just to set the border of that. Now let me show, it should not show the bikes, right? See, it is showing only 2 lines now. It is filtering only bikes, and that is why it is showing only go to hell, and it is showing the green color. right? And you can set this color also dynamically. If you go to the chart properties, where is that? Chart properties. Here, instead of this, you can set the same if condition. If it is so and so, I'll show you that. If category dot, oops, this is not having this, so you have to go for some constants only, either as that format or this format and so on. So this is the chart properties you have, and if you go to the chart area properties, this is the chart area, whatever you are seeing here, and there is only one checkbox to enable 3D. That's it. A simple chart will become 3D chart if you enable this. Enable series clustering. If you have more than one series, it will show one by one like this instead of 3D. 3D means one back, another one will be shown. Clustering means one next to the other in 3D. So this is clustering. And rotate in 30 degrees. You can rotate this one. Okay, rotate the chart. You can see the chart is rotating. And inclination means top to bottom, it will incline. Can you see? So this is inclination. And projection mode, I have never said that. Let me set it to perspective. This is perspective format, and this is oblique. And wall thickness, the wall side is there, right? The thickness you can increase or decrease the wall thickness. I'm decreasing it. Let me set it to 1 or 2 so that it will. And depth ratio is 100%. The depth ratio is this one. It's just try it out here, different. And you can increase the gap depth. Okay, the gap between each items and the depth. Okay, let me set it to 500 so that you can see clear picture. Can you see the gap between the outside one and the inside one, and even the depth ratio? Let me set it to 500. Can you see the depth ratio? So this is how the difference comes, and you can try it out. You can try everything. And restore defaults if you don't want to set all this stuff. If you feel these are not proper, you can restore the defaults. And remember, if you don't observe the values that I'm setting, always observe that everything is having an FX bar, that is, everything is having an expression, right? And the next one is visibility. I don't explain about this. Fill, if you want to set some gradient, let me set some gradient for here. I have not shown for the last one, right? So I'm setting the gradient between these two colors. Left to right, right to left, something like that. And the border, it is not showing, it is showing only one color. Why? Because it has interlacing. That is why it is not showing the other color. Interlacing, you know, right? We have set the interlacing property. I'll remove that after this. Line style, if you want to set any line style, you can set it. The border line style, this is the one border we have, right? I'll show you. I'll increase the size and set the color as white, then you can see it. Can you see the border line style? The white one. I'll increase and you can see it even clear in a better way. And shadow, if you want to set any shadow for this, you can set it. This will be clearly visible. But the shadow color, I have to set it to some yellow or something like that. I'll set it to 20 points. Oops, it's closed here. So let me remove this interlacing here. Accessories property, somewhere use interlacing, this is where we have set. And horizontal interlacing is also there. So now you can see so much of stuff is set, and this is how the report is. I know this is the most worst one among all the reports we have generated till now, but I just try to show the different features. If you see, there is nothing like a complex feature or the one which you don't understand. It all depends on how much time you're going to spend on this. Just practice on this stuff. So if you see, we have discussed about all the properties of the chart. I can say one chart, and in tomorrow's session we'll cover the gauges as well as the remaining charts. What are the how to convert from? If I explain you how to convert from one chart to another chart and how it looks, then we are good to go, right? About the chart. This is about the charts, nothing much. And the next assignment for you is the second assignment for the day. I want you to create a report which have the drill through functionality in charts. Okay, drill through functionality in charts. So finish those two assignments and send it before the next session. And next session will be covering the gauges and the remaining, if any, leftover properties of the charts. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye bye.